Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Focus. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest here that Lake County should know, and attorney Erin Cartwright Weinstein. She's a family law attorney here in Lake County, and she's also a candidate for the clerk of the circuit court.
Good morning.
Good morning, Erin. I should say, I'm sorry, Attorney Weinstein.
Either one works.
Well, we're very happy that you're taking time from your busy schedule to be with us this morning to let Lake County know who you are.
Thank you for having me.
Lake County is approximately 750,000 people, but I don't know how many up this Sunday morning at 5 a.m. listen to the program, but I understand we have a pretty good audience listening. And so I am interested in hearing about you, just like my listening audience. So I'd like for you, first of all, to tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
Okay, sure. I'm originally from Michigan. I grew up in a very small town.
Okay.
Both of my parents were teachers, and luckily my mother-in-law is also a teacher. Mm-hmm. I went to St. Mary's, Notre Dame after high school, where I graduated in 1995. I was an anthropology, sociology double major with a minor in business. I went to Thomas M. Cooley Law School in Lansing, Michigan, where I graduated in 1999. Mm-hmm. In 2000, I moved here, and I had accepted a position with the Lake County State's Attorney's Office as an assistant state's attorney. I stayed there until 2004 when I opened my own practice. Mm-hmm. And then I ended up working with another attorney who did family law, and I ended up moving to her office and working with her until 2008. And then a lot of my cases ended up being more up north, so I moved myself back to the Gurnee area where my office is now. And I'm practicing family law still. I do a little bit of adoption work. I do some minor guardianship work and some traffic tickets here and there, but not as much of that anymore. I am married. My husband's lived here for his entire life. He grew up in Highland Park. He's a third-generation Lake County resident. His parents are still in Highland Park area. Mm-hmm. I have a stepdaughter, and she's off to college in the fall and is quite the artist. So, and I spend most of my time when I'm not working, volunteering. I work at the Therapeutic Horse Riding Center in Libertyville. I do a lot of dog rescue work. It's one of my favorite. I love doing that. And we work at the Northern Illinois Food Bank, which is something that our office does a few times a year. And I absolutely love it here. I'm looking forward to moving back into public service and starting a new career in the clerk's office.
Attorney Weinstein, what piqued your interest in the law profession?
Well, I have a few lawyers in my family, so I had a lot of knowledge of the law when I was growing up. So that started the interest in it. And when I graduated from college, I really wanted to work as a state's attorney. That was one of my first priorities, and that's pretty much the reason I went to law school, was to work as a state's attorney. And I worked in Livingston County, Michigan, as a volunteer at the state's attorney's office in between finishing law school and starting here in Lake County with the Lake County State's Attorney's Office. So that was a drive of mine. And my career went a little bit on a different path, but that is certainly good memories.
Is there probably not now a glass ceiling for women in the law profession?
I don't feel that so much. I think I hear about it. I hear people say that certain things have occurred that they feel have kept them held back, but I don't see that as often. There's really been quite a rise in the number of women going to law school and entering the workforce, and they've really been successful, and I think it's been wonderful.
Fantastic. Being a successful lawyer, what piqued your interest in the clerk of the circuit court?
Well, I have absolutely had the pleasure of spending the last 16 years of my career working with the clerks in the clerk's office.
Oh, okay.
And so I have a lot of experience in the clerk's office and spending time knowing, what is working for them down in that office, what is not working for them down in that office. And I thought that when this opportunity arose, that it would really be a great new step in my career. It would bring me back to public service. It would give me an opportunity to work with the judges in the court system. It would give me an opportunity to work with the employees that I've known for a long time, and also give me an opportunity to make some changes in the clerk's office that would promote more public service and be more efficient for the people who have needs in that office.
It seemed like this is very timely. I know in the last election we had, Attorney Weiskopf. I guess she ran for the Lake County Clerk.
Yes, she was working in the civil division when I was in the criminal division at the state's attorney's office, so I know Carla.
Okay. And now this is very timely that is there someone retiring or from the circuit clerk's office?
No, the current clerk, Keith Bryn, took over the office in 2012, and he's been there now for a little over 3 years. Okay.
Have you, I should ask you this, though. The duties and responsibilities, first of all, of the clerk of the circuit court.
The main duties are keeping records for the court system. Their job is to manage the court files, store the court files, assist the judges in scheduling of the court's docket or their general caseloads, and assisting the public in maneuvering through this system. But the main focus is making sure that those files are properly cared for. They also handle all of the fines for court cases, all of the filing fees for court cases, bail bonds.
And I know you've have a great familiarity because the work that you're doing, you have close contact.
Yes.
With the clerk's office, right?
Yes, very much so. I'm there almost every day.
Do you have a feel that employee relations, because this is what makes the office really go, when you have employees that are highly satisfied and working. Do you have a feel that that's happening in the clerk's office now?
The information that I'm receiving about how things are running in the clerk's office right now is not good. There's been approximately 70 to 80 clerks that have either been fired, pushed out by the management, or have left the office because they've been so miserable there. I've had reports of employees indicating that they've lost time at work because of stress-related issues. And that's a significant issue for taxpayers. Now, most of these employees have not been replaced, and so we're finding in the clerk's office that there are a lot of long lines. People are having trouble getting access to the information that they need when they are there, and it's been frustrating for attorneys that I've spoken with as well as the public who are trying to obtain whatever information that they need, whether they need criminal background checks, those types of things. There's also been a lot of complaints about the way that the management is running. There are more managers now than there are clerks in the office. And
wow.
So they're not getting the assistance that they need as a clerk to be able to get their workload completed. And in order to properly help the public, we need to be able to have people down there that are able to get their work done, update the system, and be able to work with the court so that the court has all of the different things that they need when they're trying to help serve the public's needs as a judge. My understanding is there have been numerous misplaced files. I know I've been a victim of misplaced file before. And when we're standing in court and we're trying to help our clients out, it's very difficult when we're trying to present to the court all of the documents that they need for that day because they can't find the files. That's been a continual problem. The other problem that they're having is that they're not backing up these documents in the clerk's office. So the employees have been struggling when there have been incidences in the office, such as all the construction happening currently by the office, caused a sewage leak down in the basement of the office. When that sewage leak occurred, there were tons of people's documents in that room. And so they sent clerks down into that room and where the sewage leak was and they were trying to remove some of the documents. And my understanding, it was quite an awful situation. I believe one employee may have ended up in the hospital getting shots after that incident.
Wow.
So it's really been a very unfortunate situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with attorney Erin Cartwright Weinstein. She's a family law attorney, and she's a candidate for the clerk of the circuit court, and she is promulgating information, about the clerk of the circuit court. And we're happy to have her here, taking time from her busy schedule to let you know, and I'm learning right along with you, about information about the Lake County Circuit Clerk's office. But tell us, Attorney Weinstein, I should say Cartwright Weinstein.
Yes, that's fine.
No hyphenation, right?
No hyphenation.
Okay,
no.
This is no Carter. When people, the voters elect people into office, they assume that the office is going to be, expertly taken care of, and if they don't hear about any problems, they assume that everything is okay, But you have walked in the office and really observed just what is going on. But how do people make a change? How do they find out about what's going on in the office and make a change?
I think one of the things is listening to your show. That's one reason they can obtain information. They can look further into that information. There also have been numerous articles out in the Tribune, Daily Herald recently about incidents in the clerk's office. There were 2 employees arrested for an incident regarding altering documents that occurred approximately 6 years ago.
Wow.
They were just recently arrested in January of this year. There's also been an article about all of the issues regarding the union that my opponent's been fighting the union, and that's been costing thousands of dollars for the taxpayers. I believe it just came out in the Tribune and the Daily Herald last week, where they informed the public that he's been charged by the union for EEOC violations.
Wow. That doesn't sound too well. Being a official myself and equal employment opportunity, but so there have been charges made.
There have been charges by the labor union, yes.
The labor union?
Yes, correct.
Oh, my goodness. Well, as far as accountability, though, who is the clerk of the circuit court accountable to?
He's accountable mostly to himself. He's an elected official. I know that my understanding is that he's had some discussions with the judges and with the county board about how things are being managed in the clerk's office, but I believe ultimately that's his decision.
Wow. Another thing, too, though, as far as qualifications and so forth, what are the qualifications that a person would have to have? In other words, you don't have to be an attorney, right, to hold a position. But what qualifications, what's the eligibility for a person being holding that office?
Well, Sally Kofelt was not an attorney, and okay. She was there for approximately 32 years. So I think because this is an elected position, the qualifications are what the taxpayers determine those qualifications to be when they vote.
Okay.
So I think it's really important for the taxpayers to look and see what experience these people have prior to making their vote. And I know, my opponent is an attorney. However, he did not work in the court system in Lake County prior to becoming a deputy clerk under Sally Kofelt. So he didn't have that same experience of being on the other side of the counter prior to taking this job.
Yeah, the public was well aware of Sally Kofelt, and she was active in the community, and she was just an icon, you know.
Yes.
And what happened? Did she retire like 4 years ago? Is this when the position became open?
She retired, I believe it was December of 2011, right before Keith Brin took over. And I believe he actually took over a little bit early so that she could retire a little early.
Okay. Now, was he an apprentice in the office? Was he trained by Sally Cofont for the position?
He was. He was there for 2 years prior to her retiring.
Then he had the advantage then of the knowing how the office ran and so forth. So it shouldn't have been too much of a problem then, right?
And that's what.
Or was he just excited about getting it and flexing his muscles or something? You know?
You know, I certainly could not speak to that, but I can certainly tell you that the attorneys in the community.
Okay.
But as an attorney in the community and from speaking with many of the members of our court system, we are all very disappointed in how things have been run down there.
Wow. Well, tell us about the improvements you would make to enhance the operations of the office.
Well, one of the first improvements that I want to make is efficiency in the office.
Okay.
I want to be more hands-on with the clerks. I want to work with them to help serve the public's needs better. I believe at this point we shouldn't be having files missing. We shouldn't have files destroyed. Those files need to be backed up, and we need to work off of a system that will allow the clerks to be able to function more quickly and more effectively for the public. In addition, the technology right now is a 1980s DOS system, and I laugh because when I look at this, I think if I said that to a 15-year-old now, they would have absolutely no idea what I was talking about.
Okay.
And they had this system back when I was a state's attorney in 2000, and so that system has to go. And as of the 1st of January in 2018, the Supreme Court has come down with a rule that says the Illinois Supreme Court has come down with a rule that says we absolutely have to be running on an e-filing system. This was a promise made by Keith Brin when he took office in 2012. He has not met up to that promise, and that absolutely now has to get done because it's being mandated. It has to be running properly and effectively for the public. And I do some work in McHenry County as well, and I can tell you their system makes life so much easier for the public. It makes life so much easier for the clerk's office. And everything is accessible to people online. Attorneys can file documents online and not have to charge their clients to drive into the courthouse to do it. They can just do it from their office. So it saves taxpayers money. It saves clients money when they have to hire attorneys. It's a wonderful system. It also puts barcodes on files so that the files, they know where the files are at all times because they're kept track by a computer system. So those things, since we're a bigger county than McHenry, should have happened a long, long time ago, and and it hasn't happened. So that really needs to be started now, and things need to be backed up so that everything is more accessible. The other issue is transparency. I mean, that's really important in a public office. I think it's important for the taxpayers to know where their money is going. Right now, there's so much litigation occurring in the clerk's office. There's EEOC complaints filed against Mr. Brin. There's labor union complaints against Mr. Brin. There have been unemployment benefits received by employees that he has fired, that he has fought to a tune of more money than what the actual unemployment benefit was in the first place. I mean, those issues are all important for the taxpayers to know, and why that money is being spent on a private Chicago law firm versus taking care of the public and meeting the needs of the public right now and fighting this union. I mean, our understanding is, we don't have an exact total right now, but our understanding is it's in the six figures in the amount of money he's spent.
Wow.
And we want those funds to be put towards managing the public. We want more computers down there to help the public so that people can get in, see what they need to see, back up documents so that the public doesn't lose their documents, and if they have an important court case that they have ongoing and they come down and they have no idea where the file is, those things are just unacceptable, and that needs to change.
Well, what we have to do then is get the incumbent in and have a program in and to so he'll have equal opportunity, to express himself about what's going on if he's willing to do it,
Okay.
Now,
Absolutely.
what I spoke about accountability, and you mentioned about when he's accountable to the taxpayers. The taxpayers elected the person for the office, and it's up to them to follow up. But what about the Lake County Board? Do they have any influence, and do they have to report to Lake County Board?
He does
annually or something.
He does receive a budget from the Lake County Board.
Okay. That's
So
the key.
correct. So when taxpayer dollars come in, they divide it between the divisions as to needs. The department itself has to submit a budget to them. So there is some communication between those departments. There's also some communication with the finance department as well in the Lake County, in the Lake County government.
Otherwise, it's up to him to run the office the way he wants to
Correct.
run it. Then, right?
Correct. Mostly, yes.
Oh man, I'm very happy that you've come on Community Focus to let Lake County know just how our county clerk of the circuit court is run. We've had the many positions on. We had the state's attorney on. We had the health department. I think the head of the health department is on. So the Community Focus try to get around to have different department heads come in and at this way showing their accountability. What about relationships with other agencies? Do you plan to interact with other agencies within the county?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's important to make sure that we're meeting every agency's needs as far as the clerk's office is, as the clerk's office is necessary, whether those agencies have litigation going on or they need assistance with certain documents or they need criminal background checks, or we're working with the judges in order to assist them with their court calls and their scheduling. All of those things are all interrelated and important.
Well, that's important. I didn't lean on that too much, but besides the interaction within your office and serving the public, you have a responsibility to judges, right? You keep
Absolutely.
all the court records in it.
Absolutely. We are working for them in a way.
Okay.
I mean, in a way, we are, our job is to make sure that all of the documents that they need for court are set up, that their schedules are set up, that all of the files, when new cases are filed, are assigned to the judges, go to the appropriate courtrooms. So, yes, it's a very important component to the clerk's
Well, what
office.
about the judges? Have they complained at all about the handling of the record?
My understanding is there's some unhappiness, but I have not received any direct complaints.
Tell us about your relationships with how important are community relations? Do you feel that there's the clerk of the circuit court should interact with the community?
I do believe that the clerk of the circuit court should interact with the community as it affects the clerk's office. Absolutely. I think that there's quite a few things that the clerk's office does to help the public, and a lot of the public doesn't know, what the clerk's office is if they haven't had any interaction with them. But most people have had a traffic ticket, a divorce case, a small claims case. Something has happened in their life that has taken them to the court system.
Yeah, this would be on a volunteer basis for the, because I met you and your husband at the First Corinthian Missionary Baptist Church, where the pastor, Eugene Roberson, I think it was a play, He Decided to Die. I think that was the play that all of Lake County, if they haven't seen that, they should see that. It's normally given about Easter time for the on a Friday and a Saturday night. A beautiful rendition, and that's why I met you and your husband.
Yes.
And after talking with you and your husband, I decided that you are a person that Lake County should know.
Well, thank you.
And I appreciate
I'm excited
that.
to know Lake County.
Now, your ultimate goal And I should, that's a wide question. Ultimate goal in life, ultimate goal in the position that you're aspiring for.
My ultimate goal is to see a clerk's office with an absolutely efficient system, with updated and running technology, with clerks that are efficient and working together as a team. Right now, they're so divided. You have every clerk, is for their own. And right now, I would like to see a group of clerks that can back each other up and help each other out when it's needed, so that the public's time is not wasted standing in line when they can't get the assistance that they need. So that is my ultimate goal, is really seeing an efficient system and efficient clerks that are really helping out the public and us making a difference. And I would absolutely, just to finish answering your other question, promote any volunteer service that any of them did, when they weren't at work and helping out the public. That is something that's very important to me.
Yeah, I mentioned that because I mentioned about Attorney Weskoff. I've gotten her on some occasions to be resource people. Well, she being in voter registration, she's come out and being on forums, that I've had, explaining to people the latest and the updates and so forth on voting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure, I think I've had the former circuit court that retired.
Oh, Sally?
Sally Cofield, yeah.
Yes.
I've had her out on several occasions too. So I'm sure that you would be welcome, to be out in the community,
I am absolutely, I would be thrilled to be.
Yeah.
I would be thrilled to be. Volunteer is very important.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Well, I like to thank, is it Tammy? Tammy was the contact person that referred you to me.
Oh, Tammy Brown?
Tammy Brown. Yes. She said you have to have Erin Cartwright Weinstein on your show. She's a great person. She admitted too that you're a person that Lake County should know. And I have agreed since talking with you that, and also your husband is an attorney also, right?
Correct. He practices in criminal and PI law.
Okay. Does that make a healthy home having two attorneys?
Yes, because when we get home, we don't want to argue with anyone.
Now, what about family? You mentioned about children.
I have a stepdaughter, yes. She lives in Gurnee.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And then my family, my immediate family, is still all in Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, your stepdaughter, is she interested in law, too? You mentioned she's just going off to college, huh?
Yes, in the fall. Okay. Very exciting.
Interested in the legal profession, you think?
I don't think so. She's such an artist.
Her field is art.
Yeah,
artist.
She's a phenomenal artist.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking time again from your busy schedule to, and that's literally from your busy schedule, to come down to the studio to talk with Lake County. And I mentioned Lake County is approximately 750,000 people and growing. It's a growing county. And the circuit court is very important for the judges. We have how many judges? There's associate regular judges. I forgot the chief judge. He's a Hispanic, wasn't he?
Yes, Judge Ortiz.
Oh, Judge Ortiz. Yeah. He's been on one of my forums. Too,
yes.
And a radio program, done a TV program too. I think he has done a great job. Great job.
Yes, I've had the pleasure of practicing in front of him. He's very good.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. And I really appreciate this. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been exciting. I hope you've been excited as I am to hear the information that's, like I say, been promulgated from Erin Cartwright Weinstein. Thank you for listening to another awareness session on Community Focus. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host.